Happy holidays from Salem, Oregon. This is Paystreak Superfreak. You may not recognize me because I have a mask on. My family is making me wear a mask. And I'm in the dump here with my family. What place would I rather be in the dump with my family? I love it. And during the holidays, I'm gonna slide my mask down. I know I'll put it back on. They're telling me to put my mask back on. My family talks to me a lot. We're very vocal in my family. I have a couple tips here for the Simplex users, and I also have a tip for the Orcs users that I just figured out this week. I have epiphanies every once in a while. You know, the more you use a machine, the more awesome stuff you figure out about it. And the Simplex, I've known this for a while, but it just really I haven't been able to put my words together for this tip. And before you meet my family, you know, they are kind of freaks too. I have a family member who lives, I have 5 brothers and sisters. One of them is a naval commander on a ship, on a landing platform dock ship, LPD ship, somewhere in Korea or China or something. It's kind of a secret. I don't know where he's at half the time, but he's been a commander for a few years now. And I have a brother who is a linguistics professor at a university in Lyon, France. He translates the Bible into like 20 different languages. And I have a sister. She lives in Hawaii with my dad. My sister is a psychologist, judge's advocate, and I have another sister. She owns her own business somewhere in Europe. She moves a lot. You know how those Europeans are. I'm sorry, nothing derogatory, but yeah, I know. Dude, shut up. But they are they're really getting impatient. They want to detect. They're waiting for me. I also have my grandpa. He's in the truck right now. He doesn't like the rain. But meet my family. Don't make fun of my sister. She has a big butt. Dude, shut up. Don't even go there. No. She's all freaking giving me hand signals. But I'm gonna show you a Deus and an ORX tip too, that I just found out this week. Really awesome tip. Just wait for that one. Here's my family. Don't make fun of them. This is my family right here. What am I doing on Christmas Day? What do I do every day? I'm detecting every day, right? Okay. Meet my family. I'll take off this mask and this silly Santa thing. This is my sister. She has a big butt. No, stop it. She has a big butt because she eats a lot of iron, right? She's really sensitive about her big butt. She does eat a lot of iron though. This is my red-headed stepchild, the Simplex, right? And this is my mommy, this is the Deus, and this is my daddy, the Deus, right? I'm gonna flip this camera up a little bit here. Just a little informality there, right? And I'll show you the Deus tip and the Orcs tip right here. Last week I was actually in this dump here with my ORX, and it was pouring down rain. And I had to have it in my pocket, like always, because it's not a waterproof machine. And I'm like, oh man, I need to adjust my detector, you know, out in the rain. And I was getting it all muddy, and I was getting mud in the speaker back there. And I was just like, man, how am I gonna waterproof this? So I said, well, what if I just go like this, right? What if I just snap it right on there, right? Just see if I can get it on the right. Right here. Just like that. Just like that. It's waterproof now. Look at that. Custom designed rain gear by Paystreak Superfreak. There we go. The Deus and the Orcs you can do that with. Because I did that because this little flip phone style case here that they give you, it covers up the speaker and you can't hear the speaker. When I'm doing my live dig videos, I just can't hear, man. It's just such a thick back on there. And this front here is so thick too, this plastic here, it's so thick that I cannot push it with my gloves on, man. It's impossible to adjust this machine. And with the Deus, I have to make a lot of adjustments with this machine because it's a high-end machine, right? High-end machines, you got to make fine-tune adjustments to them or they'll become unbalanced. They'll become unstable machines. And I have to take this thing out of here every time it's raining out because I don't have it on my detector because it's raining out. You know, I can't really get this thing wet. And I have to slide it all the way out so I can see the screen and make some adjustments there. And I have to make adjustments a lot, so I'm always taking this thing out of my pocket there and taking it out of the case because this plastic in here is just too thick. And especially with gloves on, you just the buttons on the Deus and the Oryx are really far in there and they're really small. They're very difficult to push, these buttons here. But I'll give you that tip on the Simplex here. I'll grab the Simplex. And that is pretty much waterproof. I mean, you can't submerge it in water or anything, but if it's raining out, that's pretty much rain gear, you know? Rain gear for your Deus and your Oryx. And I haven't used my, anything can happen in live videos, right? Live videos are hard to do, man. Anything can happen in live videos. I might even be able to smack a button out right here. You never know. In the dump, man, this is my favorite place to be on earth. I'll show you the tip with the Simplex here. I've used the Simplex for over 2,000 hours. And my normal settings is 2 iron volume, 2 bars of iron volume. It runs really unstable at a lot of times if you drop the iron down or if you raise the iron up. You know, you don't want to hear too much iron so it's blasting in your ear, and you don't want to hear too little of iron so you're not hearing that iron around the targets, because you want to hear the iron around the target. You really do. All experts will tell you this. You want to hear the iron, man. Don't take all the iron out because you'll get less good targets if you have your iron off, right? I was just hitting this a minute ago, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna that right there is a stable machine, right? And I'll go over to my iron volume and I'll show you. It's at 0 bars, right? This is a stable machine, right? On top of that target. But let me get it over here, right? Another target right here. See how it's clicking and popping? It's a stable machine, but I can't hear any iron, right? I'm just getting a bunch of high tones. I can't hear any iron there. And I'll raise the iron volume all the way up here. I'll show you how much iron is in this dump. It's hard freaking core, right? It's an unstable machine. It's running unstable, right? Just a bunch of clicks and pops. That's all iron volume. And really, the iron volume on the Simplex is not really an iron volume, right? And it's taken me a while to gather my words to explain this with the entry-level machines. There's not a lot of fine adjustments. The Simplex does have, you know, the sensitivity, the gain, and it has a couple modes there, and it has the iron volume, and that's pretty much it. You know, that's the only adjustments you can make to hit on targets a little bit better. And the iron volume is not really an iron volume. And let me explain this and I'll demonstrate right here. This is with the iron all the way up. I'm just getting massive iron. It's just blasting my ears, right? I don't want to hear the iron blasting in my ears because I hear all the iron there, right? I want to tone that down a little bit so it's a little bit easier to metal detect, you know, so you can concentrate on those higher conductive targets, right? And I'll go over to the iron volume here and I'll drop that down. I'll drop that down to 2 bars, which is a reasonable level right in the middle for me, right? It's still clicking and popping, right? And I've tested this Simplex in the dump here quite a bit, and it just doesn't perform because the iron volume, you cannot adjust that volume level on the Simplex. The iron volume is super important when you're digging in dumps like this. stable. It's the most stable out of all these settings here. Now I'll drop it down to 1 bar here. Iron volume at 1 bar. I'm in Park 2 mode, right? 1 bar here. Still clicking, just clicking and popping, right? I'll go this target here. See, I'm not getting that target nearly as good. I'll raise it up to 2 bars here, right? 2 bars here. Watch. It's about the same actually right on this target here. But that's big iron there. I have my gain drop down 1 bar from full gain because I get a lot of EMI in this at this spot here. See, this is full. This is full. This is jacked all the way up, running hot, right? You can hear it a lot better there when it's at full gain. That's what I've been talking about. That's why I run this machine at full gain, because you can hear a lot more stuff in the ground there, and you want to hear as much as you can in the ground at pretty much as much as you can in the ground, right? And I'll show you the Equinox, and I'm going to explain why the iron volume is important, and that the Simplex doesn't really have an iron volume. What it's doing is it's rejecting the iron. And when you reject iron, like let's say if you discriminate iron, right? There's 2 things that you can have on metal detectors. There's iron volume and there's discrimination. If you just discriminate out iron, it's not going to give you a tone and it's not going to give you a number, right? If you raise or lower your iron volume on a machine, like the higher end machines, it actually lowers the volume, that tone down, so it's not so loud in your ear. So you can pick out those higher conductive targets, or you can raise those higher conductive targets, that range of metal on your detector, so it's a little bit louder, so you can hear them better. You know, so when you're in the dump, the iron volume is really smooth and it's not so loud. Like an AT Pro, you know, an AT Pro has, everything's all the same volume and it just all sounds like iron, right? Just, I brought an AT Pro for just a few minutes in this dump. It's like, that's what it does the whole time, right? That's why I don't use an AT Pro. I want a machine that's going to have a stable, mellow iron tone. That's what the Deus has. The Deus, you can hear all those little flakes of iron, just smooth. They're smooth. You can make it abrupt, you can make it fierce, but you can make it smooth too. With the Amphibio, you can actually adjust those tone breaks or those tones. If like you have 5-tone, 4-tone, 3-tone, 2-tone, you can adjust those tone, that range of whatever your tone break is at. You can adjust those volume levels on each separate tone. So if I want my coins, like if I want my zinc pennies, for some reason, if you want your zinc pennies really loud, or all the coins that are loud in your ear, just raise the volume level up on each one of those tones. But it only has 5 settings on those tones. So you only have 5 notches of volume level on each of those tones. If you're in 2, 3, 4, 5 tone. 99 tone, you can't adjust those separate tones because there's 99 of them. That's really confusing if you have 99 tones that are you're able to adjust, and you know you have to adjust the tone breaks and the volume on each one of those tones. So we have a lot of settings if they would offer that that tone break and the tone volume on each one of those. So that flat out 99 tone, you can't really adjust too much. With the Equinox, you have like 40 plus 9. So we have 49 tones that you can adjust there, and you can adjust those volume level on each one of those tones. and you have 25 volume levels on each one of those tones, and you can adjust those pitches on the Amphibio too. You can adjust a pitch. So whatever you want your iron to read at, if you want a really high tone, or if you wanted a low tone, you can adjust the volume, the pitch, and that tone break, wherever you want that iron to set at. With the Deus, you don't have all those options. you get what you get. But the tones on the Deus are, I've dug up so many less nails, so many less big freaking iron targets with that Deus. It has blown my freaking mind. I've hunted probably about 80 hours with the Deus and the Oryx pretty much together. And I've gotten very few square nails, very few bent nails, because I can just tell what the shape of those nails are. And if it's going to give you a mid-tone or a high tone, it's not a nail, right? It's pretty much not a nail with the Deus. It's that good an iron, and it can separate out those iron tones from those higher conductive targets. Just bam, just lightning fast, right? Lightning fast. So with the lower end machines, you just don't have those adjustments. And with the lower end machines, you can't expect to hunt in places like this that are just a whole bed of iron. And there's huge chunks of iron down there. There's probably cars, refrigerators, you know, there's probably semi trucks down there underneath this ground here. It's just really hard to dig in this dump, right? It's hard to detect in this dump. It's not for the faint of heart. This dump is a challenge to me. I've dug on this dump for over 1,000 hours and for many years, and I've used a lot of different detectors on here. And there's some detectors that do fairly well on this dump, and there's some detectors that just don't do it. You know, the Simplex just will not do this dump. They're just not the coil options. There's not the fine-tuned settings on that machine to get through that iron and separate those iron targets and to actually hear the iron, hear the shape of the iron. With the Deus, I can hear the shape of the iron. I can accurately determine how deep that iron is because of the modes. With the Amphibio, I can do that too, a little bit. The way I can do that with the Amphibio is I just put a different size coil on there. Because the Amphibio, I have 7 different coil options for this machine, and I can put my 5-inch double D coil on here or this small elliptical coil on here. And I think the 5-inch coil, I've gotten a lot of these surface targets out of this dump here. I've spent so much time here, but I'm starting to work on this coil here, this little bit bigger coil than the this elliptical coil here than the 5-inch. Well, I hope you guys had a Merry Christmas and stay safe out there. And this is Paystreak Superfreak Prospector Jeremy. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.